Welcome to our session for OCS for May 2023. So I'm trying to do a basic introduction of the session just to help you to understand what you are planning to do together. First of all, before I go into OCS, which is the operational level case study, let me take a let me let me take a minute to explain to you what the SEMA is all about. SEMA today is just not a accounting qualification at all. At SEMA, we are not trying to give you only the management accounting qualification. We are trying to make you a better CEO. SEMA is committed to make you a better CEO. SEMA is committed to make you a better business personnel. SEMA is committed to ensure you take your business decisions right. That's what the SEMA is all about. That is why in the SEMA structure, we have operational level, management level, strategic level, and each level there is a case study, operational level case study, management level case study, and the strategic level case study. We are trying to do, what we are trying to do together is the operational level case study, the first case study of SEMA. And I'm sure when you do this case study together and when you get through this case study, I am sure you will find it easier to do the MCS and the SCS. You will find it very easy to complete other two case studies faster. Therefore, this is the first step. Let's try to do it right and perfect. So your SEMA life becomes much quicker, much faster, and enjoyable journey. So SEMA is about building a better CEO. SEMA is about how we can help you to make better business decisions. SEMA is not about memorizing a lot of theories. Of course, SEMA is a finance-based qualification. Therefore, of course, at the operational level, which both of us are trying to work together, there will be some theories involved. The theoretical knowledge is critical, but SEMA will push you not to depend on that theoretical knowledge. See how that theory can be used in the real world, how better business decisions can be made. That's what the final ultimate objective is. So having that objective only, whatever we should do, having that objective only, we should proceed. So we'll try to explain to you a theory in our journey, but more interestingly, more importantly, we'll allocate more time to see how you can use that theory in the real business world. So that's what SEMA is all about. So what is Nanaska? Nanaska is what I represent. I am the lead lecturer for Nanaska. My name is Channa Gunawardana. Nanaska is a small institute. We would like to remain small. We would like to take a manageable number of students and ensure all of them pass. Our commitment for the students is you fail, we fail. Therefore, we will do whatever that is required to ensure you pass the exams. That's the commitment that we have. So at Nanaska, it's not only about passing the exam. As I mentioned before, we are trying to be aligned to the overall objectives of SEMA. So we are not trying to help you to pass the exam. Of course, we shall do that, but that's not the end of the journey. That's not the only thing that we do. We'll try to show you how the real businesses are run. We'll try to help you to get the jobs in the market. We'll try to connect you to the job opportunities available in the market. That is what we call Nanaska Connect. So we have a separate entity called Nanaska Connect with the core objective of helping our participant, that's you, to find the jobs in the market. And even if you do find the job, still our relationship will continue, our journey will continue, because we would like to help you to develop and have a better career. So we'll have like a help arranged for you whenever you need to get some help for your office work. You can come back to us, we can have a chat and we can see how we can help you, because our overall objective is starting with, of course, passing you, but to ensure that whether you build an amazing career as we go ahead. So that's what the Nanaska Connect is there for. But there's something else. That is what I call Your Life is Your Life. So Your Life is a program that is done by me. It's available for all of you all the participants of Nanaska. You will be able to join that program. The program is called Your Life is Your Life. Your Life is Your Life. It's all about, obviously, your life, which is your life. So what we're trying to do is, the main theme of that program is how to live a happy life. The reason being, we have seen a lot of professionals working very, very hard. We have seen a lot of professionals try to achieve things in life, like a promotion, better company to go and work for. We have a feeling we are pushing these things too much, and we forget to enjoy the life. We forget to enjoy the life. So we are worried whether you will put into that category where you try to work very, very hard and forget to enjoy the life, because the life enjoyment or the satisfaction cannot come after you achieve something. I mean, achievements will not give you the satisfaction. After getting the promotion, you can't be happy. After finding a better job, you can't be happy. Achievements will not give you the satisfactions. Then what do you mean by, I don't understand. Achievements won't give the satisfaction. Then, well, it works other way around. Satisfaction will give the achievement. If you work happily, you will get a promotion. So coming back to my point as well, if you study happily, if you are happy studying, if you enjoy studying, you will pass. You can't enjoy life after you passing exams, because there will be something else coming in. After operational level, there will be something else coming in. After SEMA, there will be something else coming in. You will never be happy. You will always delay to be happy. You got to be happy today. If you study happily, I'm sure you will be able to get a lot of achievement. So that program is also coming in. What I'm trying to tell you is, you fail, we fail, so we'll try to do whatever that is humanly possible to ensure you pass. At the same time, we do other things like Nanaska Connect, we do other things like Your Life is Your Life to ensure you have a better career. So I have explained to you what SEMA is, I have explained to you what Nanaska is. Chana, just give a little introduction about myself. I work as the CEO for one of the public listed companies. We are a public listed company called Dankotu Porcelain. We export tableware to 65 countries all over the world. Our products are available throughout the world. Why I'm saying that is, I'll be sharing my experience of being a financial assistant to the CEO journey. I'll be sharing my experience, what did I do right, what went wrong, what's my advice, sharing my experience, because that's what SEMA is all about, right? SEMA wants you to take right business decisions. SEMA wants you to be a better CEO. SEMA wants you to be a better CEO. That's the whole objective of it. SEMAs and Nanaskas. So my experience of being a CEO from a finance professional, when I started SEMA, how it went right, how it went wrong, what you can learn from it, how you can have a better career, how you can have a more enjoyable life, that we will discuss. So I work as a CEO of one of the public listed companies. So let's share that experience, right? So what I'm trying to do so far is to take the first 10 minutes and to give an introduction to SEMA, to myself, and to Nanaska. So I think we have taken that first 10 minutes available. Actually, I have another 12 seconds in that, right? Now, secondly, what do we do with you for OCS? Specifically, the topic that is under discussion today. we will, both you and me, and we have Mr. Mark with us. Mr. Mark will come in just after my introductory session. Mr. Mark will do a great job of introducing what the pre-scene is all about and all that. So I am not going to go there. I'll leave it for Mr. Mark. But what we are trying to do together, Force, is we are trying to help Tony Roberts. Our journey together, our objective together is to help Tony Roberts. Who is this Tony Roberts? Oh, wow. He's the managing director of our case study. He's the managing director of our case study. I don't understand what do you mean by that. Wow. We have a case study in our hand. We have a parent company called Agri. We have a parent company called Agri. I'm sure you might get a feeling of agriculture, a parent company called Agri. And both of us are trying to work for a company called Frax Europe. Both of us are trying to work for a company called Frax Europe. So our job is to help Tony. Tony is the managing director of the pre-scene company. Tony is the managing director of the case study. What do you mean by that? For SEMA OCS, we have been given a case study about 6 weeks ago. Our job, you and me, we should go through that case study, learn about this Frax Europe. I mean, they are an interesting company. They are in many different countries. They have few subsidiaries. They manufacture many agricultural products, mostly the tractors. They manufacture many agricultural products, mostly the tractors, and they are different type of tractors that they are selling. They are based in America. So this is the basic details of the company that we have been given as the pre-scene organization. Both of us are supposed to learn it. However, it's a loan document available from SEMA. It's a loan document available from SEMA. It's about 24 pages long and little boring for you to read it continuously. Little boring for you to read it continuously. So, for you to help in that journey, we will give you a document called KYP. Actually, KYP is our starting point of our journey. When Mark, myself try to work with you, the starting point of our journey is KYP because SEMA pre-scene is little too boring to read. KYP is a nice PowerPoint presentation with a lot of explanations in it, a lot of pictures of it for you to understand it faster and quicker. I'm not trying to show you the KYP, don't worry, Mark would do that. But I'm trying to tell you, starting point is KYP. KYP stands for Know Your Pre-Scene. KYP stands for Know Your Pre-Scene. That's what the KYP is there for. So you need to learn about this Frax Europe. How can you learn about a company unless you know the industry? I mean, unless you know how the tractors work, unless you know how the tractors are manufactured, unless you know how the tractors are shipped, unless you know how the agricultural business in the world works, you will never understand about the Frax Europe. You can't. You can't understand the company unless you know the industry. Therefore, first stage is KYP, second stage is KYI, which is Know Your Industry. So even though we call first stage is KYP, second stage is KYI, we'll give you basic introduction of KYP, then the KYI will come in. Both needs to be done together. Now today as an example, Mark will show you both. But what is most critical is KYP. But you got to know the details about the company. Nice to have some background information about the industry as well, which will come in from the KYI. First stage KYP, second stage KYI. Third stage is what we call GR, KYP, KYI. Third stage is what we call GR, which is the ground rules. Which is the ground rules. Ground rules means what? Wow. On the exam day, there are things that you should be doing. There are things that you should not be doing. The ground rules of playing the game of SEMA. We will explain to you what those ground rules are in the section number 3. The section is called GR, ground rules. So we should be explaining ground rules in that section, right? It's an online exam, 3-hour paper. 4 different sections are available in the paper. Each section you have 45 minutes to do. Each section is like email from your boss. There's no question paper given. There's an email from the boss. That's the question paper. You got to respond to the email. I mean, like in your day-to-day world, you get an email from the boss and you reply. That's what you do. Your reply to the boss is your answer. So it's in an online platform where you get an email from the boss. Like in the real world, there's an attachment available. We might call a different name. We don't call it an attachment. We call it a reference material. We call it a reference material. Like in the email, you click the attachment and see what the boss has attached to his email. You click the reference material and see the same. And then when you try to reply, you can say, "Hi, Tony, this is what I think you should be doing." And you give your recommendations to Tony. Tony is our managing director of this company, which you remember, right? So it's online exam. 4 different sections. Each section is for 45 minutes. A 3-hour exam paper. 4 different emails from the boss. You got to reply for those 4. So those are the things that is covered in the ground rules. I'm not trying to do the ground rules now. Even Mark might not do the ground rules today, but I'm trying to give you a basic introduction what is in the ground rules. So what you should be careful on the exam day. As an example, section number 1. How many minutes you have for the section number 1? 1, 2, 3, quickly think. 45 minutes, section number 1. Actually, there are 4 sections. Each section has 45 minutes. So if you are done with the section in 40 minutes, what will you do? You have 5 minutes remaining. What will you do? Can I use that 5 minutes in the section number 2? Can I come back to section number 1 later? Now, section number 1 has 45 minutes. I have used only 40 minutes. I'm done. Can I now go to section number 2, do section number 2, go to section number 3, do section number 3, come back to section number 1 to use that 5 minutes? Or can I use that 5 minutes in the section number 4 because section number 4 I might need 50 minutes instead of 45? All those are covered in the ground rules. So don't worry about that 5 minutes. We will discuss it when we come to the ground rules. So KYP, KYI ground rules. Deep dive, DD. Deep dive is the stage number 4. Deep dive. Deep dive is really a deep dive. Deep dive is an in-depth analysis of the pre-C, where we go and challenge what is given by CMA in the pre-C. We go and ask questions like, can it be? Is it possible? We go and ask, what other products should they be manufacturing? What other market should they be in? They say they have a pricing strategy like this. Does it make sense? Those questions are being asked, challenged within the deep dive. Within the deep dive. Within the deep dive. So that's a stage number 4. Stage number 5 is called co-activities. CMS identified 5 co-activities, A, B, C, D, E. CMS identified 5 co-activities based on its research done in many different countries. CMS identified 5 co-activities are the 5 core things that you will do in the real world. How does it relate here? Okay. We are saying if those are the 5 core things that people will do in the real world, all the questions will be based on those 5 core activities. So all your exam day questions are divided into 5 core activities, or all your exam day questions will be based on 5 core activities. So stage number 5 of ours is core activities. Under core activities, there are 5 activities available. That's why we call it stage number 5. So there are 10 stages in our course. There are 10 stages in our course. I have explained to you only the first 5, which is KYP, KYI, GR, ground rules, DD, deep dive, and the core activities. Those are the first 5 stages in the 10 stage journey. So there are 10 stages in total. I have explained to you the first 5. So I took another 10 minutes from your time. In total 20 minutes to explain to you the first 5 stages of our journey. So can you do a quick refresher in your mind? Can you do a quick refresher in your mind? Do you know how many stages are in our course? Do you know how many stages in our course? If you know, very good. 10, right? How many I did explain to you? 5. What are the first 2 activities? First 2 things that we do together? First 2 things that we do together? KYP and KYI. Very good. Under which section we will tell you what to do on the exam day and what not to do on the exam day? Under which section will tell you what to do on the exam day and what not to do on the exam day? Stage number 3. It goes as GR, ground rules. It goes as GR, ground rules. What's the difference between KYP and deep dive? KYP, we try to explain to you what is in the précis. Deep dive is an in-depth analysis of the précis. So deep dive is an advanced version of the KYP. You can't go through the deep dive without going through the KYP. First, you do the KYP. Then you go through the deep dive. On the exam day, how many sections are available? 4. Each section, how many minutes available? 45 minutes. So if you can answer those questions, you got what I have been explaining to you in last 20 minutes. So I have taken 20 minutes, 10 minutes to explain about SEMA, about myself, about Nanaska. We have taken first 10 minutes. Second 10 minutes I have taken to explain the first 5 stages of the 10-stage course that we are trying to offer for you. Now, I'm trying to quickly tell you what the last 5 stages are. 6th one, refresh theory. Wow, absolutely critical. SEMA is a very practical exam. SEMA is trying to make you a better CEO. That's what SEMA shop is. There's no other qualification on the planet like that. But SEMA is a finance-based qualification. So you need to have a certain theoretical background strongly available with you. Therefore, for the operational level, there are 3 theory subjects available. We call it E1, P1, F1. We call it E1, P1, F1. There are 3 theory subjects available for the operational level. We will refresh you all 3 theory subjects. That's a stage number 6 of our course. That is what you call refresh theory. So stage number 6 is refresh theory. Stage number 7 and 8 are the fun, are the real fun. Stage number 7 and 8, that's the real game. Stage number 7 is practice. Stage number 8 is reality. Practice means we just give you one mock paper and the answer. We just give you one mock paper and the answer for you to read the question paper to see what kind of questions will come on the exam day. Read the answer to see what kind of answers you should be writing on the exam day. That's just a practice. Reality is mock number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on for you to do in our exam engine. We have online exam engine very similar to SEMA's exam engine. I'm sure this is the exam engine that had been used by highest number of students in the world. You will enjoy doing your mock number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the exam engine. We give you marks in 48 hours. And after that, within 24 hours, we'll give you one-to-one discussions of what did you do wrong, what you can improve, which areas you perform very well. Reality is really a reality for you to pass the paper. That's the stage number 8. 5 I have explained before. Refresh theory, practice, reality is stage number 8. Stage number 9 is a mix of various things. It's a revision. Stage number 9 is a revision. It has various things. It has a section called PI, possible issues. It has a section called PM, power mock. What kind of E1, P1, F1 questions might be there on the exam day? Oh, hold on. Didn't we discuss it before? Of course, yes, we did. Section number 6, we explained to you what the theory areas are. Refresh theory. E1, P1, F1, refresh theory. In the revision, section number 9, we give you a power mock. Power mock will relate all the theories into the case study. How Tony Roberts can get some help from all the theories will be explained in the revision, which is section number 9. In revision, of course, other than the power mock, there are other documents available like the possible issues. Last stage is nothing else but one-to-one support. As I said, Nanaska is a small organization. We want to support you to pass the exams. People struggle to pass the exams due to various reasons that are of their own. We can't give a general medicine for everyone. We need to identify what your issue is and support you. That is why one-to-one support is available as the stage number 10. So I just explained to you the 10 different stages available. You don't need to remember everything. You need to remember that we are going to start with KYP, KYI. Mark will start it today itself. Mark will start it today itself. So let's start going through this journey together. Let's start going through this journey together. Join with us. You can send an email to info@nanaska.com. You can send an email to info@nanaska.com. You can send me a WhatsApp message at any time if you have a struggle with the registration, things to be clarified. My mobile number is there in the chat box right now. As I mentioned, my name is Channa, so you can send me a message and clarify things. We are here to ensure you pass the exam. If you fail, we fail. And we are here to ensure that you pass the exams and then you get better jobs and you do well in the real life. And we will do whatever support required to ensure you enjoy your life. We are not just any educational institute just to give you some documents and ask you to study and pass. We don't send you a lot of documents to read. Instead, we send you a video. All the lectures are recorded, so you can go back and watch whenever you want. You can contact me at any time to clarify things. We are here with you in the journey throughout. I have been a student of SEMA. I have been lecturing for SEMA. I got elected to the SEMA Global Council in UK a few years ago. I get heavily involved in the journey. I work as a CEO of a public listed company, so I can share my experience. So that's what we are trying to offer. We need full commitment from you. We need full commitment from you. It's a journey that we try to go together. We will certainly, without a doubt, do our part. We want you to do your part as well. Not that you need to study 5 hours a day. But every week, let's agree what you're going to do and you should try to do them at your best. If you fail, no problem. Next week, you do a little bit more work and cover it up. What is needed is some commitment from the day one. We believe that you guys are working professionals since you are busy. So we have a team who will keep reminding you, did you study the KYP? Are there any questions? That's a help for you because when you get the second reminder, at least you will wake up. If you don't like reminders, of course, you can tell on the very first day, we'll take you out of the reminder list because you are motivated by yourself. We are very happy. If you think it's useful, most students do think, I'm sure you can get the benefit as well. I'm sure you can get the benefit as well. So let's go this journey together. I've been given 30 minutes to do a basic introduction. I'm not trying to go into the KYP. Mr. Mark is the best for that. He will go into. I do teach MCS. I do teach SCS. So you will see me very, very often in the SEMA journey. In the SEMA journey. So my job in the 30 minutes is to give the initial introduction. Join with us. My mobile number is there. Send us an email, info@nanaska.com. Register with us. We'll ensure you pass. We'll ensure you have an enjoyable life. So I'm going to finish it 20 seconds earlier. Mr. Mark, over to you. All the very best, guys. I wish you a great life, enjoyable life, and a great SEMA journey for all of you all. Mark, over to you.
Yeah. So let me take it on from here by starting off with a little bit on the phrasing, right? So we've had a basic introduction onto our OCS. So we've got some basic introduction onto our pre-scene. So as Mr. Channa told you, so we will be giving you a document called the KYP, which is Know Your Pre-scene, which will summarize all your pre-scene content, right? You have about 25 pages in your pre-scene. So we have summarized all of it, the key points along with key infographics, the ratios, financials, all of it, and given you a document called KYP. So let's run through a little bit on the KYP, a little bit on the KYI, and then I'll move to the pre-scene to see how we will crack this case study through. How we will crack this case study through. So now you are very clear on the steps we are going to follow, starting off with the KYP to the KYI, your ground rules, to the core activities, to the mocks, to the refresh theories, to the deep dive, all of it, right? So given that that is our course structure or the course outline, so I would like to remind you, this is where we currently look at. I mean, basically, this is how our course is structured. So we are OCS sitting for the exam in May 23. So our exams are from the 10th to the 12th of May, right? We barely have about maybe 6 weeks for that. So within that 6 weeks, we're going to come up with a plan as to how our sessions will be uh, conducted. What is the timetable of the sessions? We will share it with you, and then from your end, what is expected, by which day should you complete mock number 1, mock number 2. So we'll give you what is expected from you as well, because within these 6 weeks we've got to cover all those key points, from the KYP to the KYI to the deep dive to everything. So within these 6 weeks we've got to see how we manage our time. So for that, there is a level of commitment required from you. So let's work together, a collaborative journey, so that we get through this confidently and easily, right? So basically what I want, I mean, out of all the documents, which I will be highlighting just a few to give you the importance of it. Number one will be your refresh theory. Now what does refresh theory cover? Refresh theory is a refresher of your E1, F1 and P1 subjects of the operational level, because in OCS, if I give you a pie chart, right, maybe 70% of it and 30% of it. So what is 70%? Will your questions, your applications, everything will be based on the theory you have learned. What is the theory you have learned? E1, F1 and P1. So to answer 70% of the questions you get, you need to know your theory. You need to be solid with your theory. It's not that it's all theoretical questions. No, it's all about applications, right? For you to apply, for you to interpret, you need to know the theory. So the examiner might work out a variance table for you, ask you to interpret these variances. So now if you are not aware, right, if you are not aware about the variances theory, how it is calculated, what could be the possible reasons, can you do that? No. So that is where the importance of your theory comes into play. So in that variance analysis question, you've got to say what this variance means and what are the reasons for its occurrence. Read through your question, read through the paper, the email you get at your exam, we call it the unseen. So you read through the unseen and you find what are the possible reasons for the variances, right? So first you interpret or you explain to the examiner what this variance is. For example, let's say your labor rate variance. Then in your unseen, there'll be a point saying, look here, there was a government legislation revising the minimum wage upwards. So that is the reason for if it's an adverse variance, that is your reason. So you need to be able to explain the theory, interpret it, and apply it to the question that has been asked in with relation to the pre. So now for you to do that, your refresh theory will play a critical role. Your refresh theory will play a critical role. Then number two is your mocks. So we will do 8 mocks, right? Mock number one we will do together in class. We will take the paper and discuss and tell you, okay, this is the approach you need to take, right? This is how you need to identify the ER. What is ER? Your exam requirement. Your exam requirement. What basically what is the examiner asking from you, right? So that is very critical for you to identify and then plan your answer accordingly, structure it accordingly, and write a perfect answer. So mock 1 we will be discussing in class. So you will be getting the paper and you will be getting the model answer as well. So mock 2 to 8 is all yours, right? So you will be attempting from mock 2 to 8. You will be attempting it in our own exam engine, which is very similar to CMA's exam engine, right? And then you will submit it for marking. We will mark it and send it to you, right? So mock 2 to 8 will be marked. And out of these, if you remember point number 10, right, we will take about 3 to 4 mocks and do a one-to-one sessions. Where should you improve? What are the changes you need to bring in your approach of writing mock answers? All of it, right? So we will do a one-to-one session there to identify a set of mocks, maybe 3 or 4, and then give you some feedback as to how you need to improve, as to how you need to improve, right? So that is about mocks. So mocks is critical. So why do I say mocks is critical? This is what is going to define whether you're going to pass or fail in your exam. The more you write, the more confident you are, right? So therefore, I want everyone to complete all these mocks in time. If not, you will be finding it a little bit difficult at the exam. So I've seen people who have done all 6, 7, 8 mocks comfortably passing the exam, whereas on the other side of it, those who do just 2, 3, end of the day, you fail the exam. Reason, this, it's practice. It's all about practice, right? It's all about grasping the way how the examiner throws the ER at you, right? How do you grasp it, right? The more you practice your mocks, the more you get familiar to the system, the more you get familiar to the process. So therefore, mock number 1 to 8 is critical. That's going to define your result, right? Along with your refresh theory. So when we start the course, these two elements are two elements which are very important. I'm reiterating it is because of the level of importance for this case study, especially OCS, where you have about 70% covered in terms of theory and 30% in terms of your industry to applications to whatnot, right? So therefore, mocks is critical, your refresh theory is critical. And number three, now you have to type in the exam, right? So number three, I will have two parts. Number one is your pre-scene knowledge, and number two is your words per minute. We call it WPM, right? So pre-scene knowledge, you need to read the pre-scene at least 20 to 25 times before the exam. So start now, right? And then your words per minute, you need to type, right? A minimum of, I would say, 33 to 35 words per minute, you should be able to type. So how do you increase it? Don't worry, we have time. You take a newspaper, take article, type for about 5-10 minutes a day, or maybe once in 2 days you do that exercise, you're going to see an improvement. Because it's a time game where we have to answer 4 sections in 3 hours. So you roughly get about 40 minutes per section. You leave out 5 minutes to do all your checkings to whatnot, right? So therefore, within that 40 minutes, you've got to score how many marks? You have 4 sections, you've got to score 25% of your marks, right? So each section, to give you some context onto your exam paper, right? In your exam, you will have how many sections? 4 sections. Section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. So each section can have up to 3 tasks. Very rarely 4, but most oftenly 2 or 3 tasks, right? What do I mean by a task? Maybe 3 questions in your words, right? So the examiner will specify a certain weightage. Okay, task 1 is 50%, task 2 is 30%, task 3 is 20%. So now assume you get 40 minutes per section. How you are going to allocate your time? How are you going to allocate your time? Right? So maybe you take about 5 to 10 minutes for preparation, then you are left over with about 30. So these 30 minutes you've got to allocate 15 minutes to this, 9 minutes to this, and then 6 minutes to this, something like that. Right? You might not take 5 to 10 minutes to plan your answer once you are familiar with it, right? But then based on this weightage, you've got to give emphasis on the content. You've got to give emphasis on the content, right? Remember, if you write just 2 points for a task that is giving 50%, that's not the best case, right? So at least what I always recommend is, whatever the weightage, your minimum number of points for an answer has to be 3. Has to be 3. So we'll practice all of this, right? All these are exam techniques, how we get the attention of the examiner, so that we are able to present ourselves as knowledgeable people, as ones who are very aware of the theory to the practical aspects, to the applications, to the praising. So it's a combination of all of that that's going to define your result. So how are you going to get familiar with it? Nothing else, right, but your mocks. Nothing else but your mocks. So in your mocks, we will try and cover all possible theory areas that could be tested in the exam. In addition to this, we will give you another document which is called possible issues. We will give you another document which is called possible issues. This will have certain identified set of issues that the examiner could come up with on the exam day, in addition to the mock paper scenarios we are discussing. In addition to the mock paper scenarios we are discussing, right? So that's just an extension of the of some context into the course which Mr. Channa gave you, right? I just went deep into 3 elements. What are the 3 elements? The refresh theory, your mocks, and number 3 I broke down into 2: your pre knowledge and your words per minute. So all the 10 steps are important, but out of those 10, I just handpicked a few which is critical, I would say. You need all the other 7, but if you don't have these 3, that's going to be very difficult for you. So don't go to that extent, right? It's not a hard thing, right? Once we get into the system, I know we will somehow get it going, right? Especially you can start now today on your refresh theory, right? Take about a week or 1.5 weeks, finish off all your E1, F1, P1. We will also have refresher sessions, right, for E1, F1, P1, to remind you of the theories, right, to give you some context onto the theories. And then on the mocks, right? So we will give you a schedule. By this date, you need to complete mock 2, this date, mock 3. Likewise, we'll give you a schedule and you need to stick to the timelines. If not, we also will, our backend team will be marking your papers and I will be reviewing them and you will get it, right? So to get that process smooth, we need to stick to timelines. So for to stick to timelines, I want you to commit, have that dedication, right? Have that dedication. So with that motivation, I mean, let's get this going. It's going to be very interesting. We are going to discuss a lot of practical aspects. A very interesting industry. So if you look at our industry, we are into agriculture. We sell tractors, right? So just before you even start reading the pricing, just go to YouTube, right? Just see what are the types of tractors, see how they harvest. Right, there are pages like smart engineering to smart farming to smart agriculture, right? The new trends, right? Not those traditional tractors we've seen. If you go through the pricing, we have 3 types: the small, medium, and the premium tractors. The medium and the premium tractors come with air conditions, right? Come with all sorts of technologies, from sensors to cameras to whatnot, right? So it's no more the traditional tractor we have in our mind, right? The world is evolving, technology is a key driver in that. So we need to adapt, change ourselves, and we see that in the products of Trax Europe, of Trax Europe, right? So this document is called KYP, which is Know Your Pre-Scene. So here what we look at is, we focus on track zero. What is our company? Manufactures and sells tractors for agricultural purposes. Right? It's a detailed analysis of the pre-scene. So one more detailed analysis you will receive is your deep dive. So as we start the course, the first two sessions will be on the pre-scene analysis. We will be taking the pre-scene, the KYP, and a little bit on the deep dive, analyzing the pre-scene, cracking the case study in detail. What are the main areas we need to remember? What could be the possibilities the examiner could turn up with, right? Things like that. So then, to give you some context, we are the finance officer, or you are the finance officer in this company, Trax Europe. So what is your role? What should you do? Prepare management accounting information. So again, your P1 knowledge is very important. Financial statements, F1 knowledge. Providing information, again, P1, E1, F1. All three will be relevant. Let me give you an example. So we are having a supply issue. A supply is not conforming to quality standards. Let's say our spare part supply. So the procurement manager has done an analysis of three suppliers, and you need to make a decision. You need to recommend to the finance manager, look here, this is the supply we need to work with. How do you make a call? You do a financial analysis, right? Do a qualitative analysis from the competition to their service levels to whatnot, and then their costing, right? You That's how you make decisions. So it's about providing information more towards your P1 and E1 side, and answering queries again from your F1 related to financial and other reporting. Other financial matters could be your P1 as well. So if you take your three subjects as a whole, E1, F1, P1, which subject do you think you will get more questions on? Is it E1, F1, or P1? Where you get most questions on, right? Maybe about 55 to 60% of the questions will be related with P1. And then F1 and E1 sort of equally balanced, right? So therefore, now you know where your emphasis needs to be on. Now you can understand why I have highlighted the importance of what? At the start, what did I highlight? The importance of the refresh theory. Importance of the refresh theory, right? So therefore, that is very important. That is very important. You as a finance officer, to succeed, to excel, right? You need to be